every day on set, I was like, I don't know acting. I'm back to square one. Sometimes I feel like, this is not the same. I'm not free anymore.
Yeah.
That sense of freedom has kind of gone away. As an actor, I'm very happy that I'm getting to do different roles, getting to learn every day on set. Otherwise, it can become very boring, and I don't ever want to, fall out of love with acting. Yeah, because that is my one fear.
Hello and welcome to InFocus with the Hollywood Reporter. I'm your host Sneha Menon Desai, and my guest today is clearly in focus because everyone wants a piece of Triptii Dimri.
Hi.
Welcome to Hollywood Reporter India.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
What a moment you are having as an actor and as a star. I can imagine it must be giddying to be you right now.
It is.
But honestly, I just want to know how you're coping, because I also know that you're a very shy and very introverted girl, and I can tell that this is a lot.
It is a lot, but I am enjoying it, surprisingly. I thought, earlier I had a lot of time to spend on different things. I would sit at home and I had nothing to do, so I would paint and read and put wallpaper on my house walls. And then that time I would be like, yeah, I have so much free time. What do I I'm not making good use of it. I'm not, what if life is like this forever? But then that's when I reminded myself, no, it's going to change and I'm going to be so busy that there won't be a single day for me to breathe. And that's what's happening right now.
To put it on record, today is a Sunday.
Today is a Sunday.
And we're all working.
We are here.
Because that's all the window that we could squeeze out.
Yeah. It is hectic. There's been a lot of running around, but I'm enjoying it. Really enjoying it.
Yeah. Because, the kind of flash success that you've seen, I don't even know that many actors can relate to it, because you're also the girl that in 2017 you did Poster Boys.
Yes.
And you weren't even on the poster of that film.
Yeah. Before that, I did Mom also.
Yes.
I have a small scene in Mom. I was there for 5 days, but then for some reason that didn't happen. So I'm only there for the introduction shot. And after that, Poster Boys happened.
But what has this last 7-8 year journey and how it's panned out for you taught you about the industry and also about yourself?
About myself, I've learned quite a lot. I mean, when I moved to Bombay, I knew nothing. I didn't know acting. I didn't know that I wanted to be an actor. I had no love for acting, for the craft. I'll be very honest, because I just wanted to, just do something different. I was never academically good. And I told my parents that I'm just going to give it a try. Let's see if it happens, or if it doesn't happen, then I'll come back. And they were also scared. They were like, because they know me as a person, and they were like, you're a shy, introverted person. How will you? It's a different world out there, and you've never stepped out of Delhi. How are you going to go there and, survive?
Yeah.
And
you had guts.
That time I really had guts. And they were not happy about me, joining the industry or modeling. That time I was modeling. But I just said, I have to give it a try. If you're so concerned, please come with me, because I have to give it a try. If I don't try, then I might regret later, 7 years, 8 years down the line, when I look back. And if I'm not an actor, or if I've not done something that I want to do, then I might regret it for the rest of my life. So let me just give it a try. With that thought, I moved to Bombay. Not moved to Bombay, I started auditioning a lot for TV shows, serials, films, and by fluke I got Poster Boys. And the set, on set, it was just so difficult for me because I didn't know the terms. DOP, I didn't know the meaning of DOP, POV. POV shot, I was like, what is a POV shot? I would keep asking people. And I didn't perform well, of course, for obvious reasons, because I didn't know A of acting. And when I got done with the film, my parents were sort of okay with me moving to Bombay, because they'd seen me work with, the Diols. Yes. And after that, I think I thought I'll give acting a try. Till then, acting was not in the picture.
At all?
At all. I was just modeling and I wanted to do something different than, being, I never wanted to do a desk job. So I was like, what is it that I want to do? And I didn't have an answer.
This face shouldn't be at a desk.
Yeah.
I said, this face.
Thank you. But then that happened, and then when I was in Bombay, 17 is when I properly moved to Bombay, and Laila Majnu auditions were happening. Again, the same story. I had failed the audition the first time. And then I'd lost all hopes. I was like, they've already rejected me. Why would they want to, test me again? But for some reason, my friend was supposed to audition for Laila Majnu. And before that, we were auditioning for a deodorant ad. And she was like, listen, we'll save some money on the auto, right? So can you just wait for 15 minutes? We can then share the fare. I said, okay. Then I was just waiting for her outside the office when the casting director came and said, why don't you, audition for Laila Majnu? You look Kashmiri. I said, you have my audition and you've rejected me already. He's like, no, please come and audition. We are redoing the whole thing. So maybe it'll work this time. And I auditioned, and then Laila Majnu happened. Even then, I didn't know acting. And I would sit in workshops with my director, Sajid, and Avinash Tiwari. And Avinash Tiwari is a wonderful actor. And they would have discussions on acting and, backstory and characterization. And I would just be sitting there like blank-faced, not knowing anything. And I would go home and cry that, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right place? Because I don't understand what they're saying. I don't understand their language.
Yeah.
Is this for me? Is this not for me? There was too many questions in my head. And there was a part of me that wanted to do it because, not many people get an opportunity like this. I was grateful for that, but I was too scared. And of course, when you're there and you're not getting anything, then you feel like you're a fool, right? And I would feel like a fool every single day that, oh my God, I'm here and I don't know anything. And I give it to Sajid. He really, really helped me understand Laila in the first kid. And then after the first kid was over, I did join an acting course, which is when I said, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do for life. Because I think that course really opened me up. I don't think I knew myself better before the course. I was just, not asking the right questions, not having a chat with myself. I didn't know myself at all, I would say. But after the course, I remember the first day, I was late for the class, 2 hours late. The class was for 4 hours. I was stuck in traffic. And the acting teacher, he's just Saurabh Sachdeva, he's my acting coach, wonderful guy. He just looked at me, he's like, you're not allowed to enter now. You're 2 hours late. You got to be responsible if you want to do this. And I just apologized. And he's like, come tomorrow, not today. I said, okay. Again, ashamed. The next day, I was there on time. And the room was this big only. And I sat in one corner in the end. And he looked at me, he's like, why are you sitting in the corner? And in classrooms, how you avoid eye contact with teachers. Don't look at me, don't pick me up, and they don't make me answer the questions. He's like, no, you will come and sit right in front of me, and then that's when I'll start the class. I was like, shit, now how do I do this? That happened. And then since I think it was a 1 month long course, there were many difficulties we faced. A lot of students were there, some 40 people. But it was such a special feeling because by the end of the workshop, I was like, wow, I'm such a different person now. I can communicate with people. I am not really ashamed of performing in front of, say, 40 people. Yeah. Earlier, you put a camera in front of me and you would see me like shaking. But I think that class really helped me open up to people, to myself. We would be given exercises, so many different kind of exercises that, would make one want to think, yaar, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of my life? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I enjoying it? That was the main exercise of our class. Ask yourself how you're feeling and why you're feeling it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not in touch with yourself, then you can never be honest with your characters because you don't know how you're feeling. You're just,
yeah,
in another world.
So I think it's okay if you don't know what POV means, but this was a bigger important lesson.
What you need to know.
Yeah.
That whether you're feeling good, if you're not feeling good, why is it? And so that happened, and that is the day I said, okay, this is a workshop not just for actors. I think every human being should do it.
Yeah.
You know, it really gives you another perspective, and yeah, it really opens you up. After that day, I said, this is my first love, and this is what I'm going to do now in life. And since then, a lot of things have happened, a lot of ups and downs. There were times where I had work, there were times where I didn't have work. Bombay was difficult because, new
Bombay
city.
is difficult.
Bombay is difficult for everybody. Anybody who's from outside, and I've spoken to that person, everybody has a story. And it's such an interesting thing, right? Because now when I look back, I'm like, how did I manage then? Because I don't think I can do it today.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. That time I feel I was much stronger. There was nothing to lose. There was no fear. Now there's a fear attached to it. Because once you've achieved something, you're really attached to it and you don't want to lose it. That time there was nothing. There's no attachment.
Yeah.
So you were just doing anything and everything.
Yeah.
You were ready to take risks. So yeah, I think I was quite brave back then than I am now. But this experience has taught me a lot. I have, I think, learned a lot personally as well as professionally. Yeah.
Well, in the last year itself, you've worked with Ranbir Kapoor,
Yes.
Vicky Kaushal, Kartik Aaryan, Rajkummar Rao. It literally is like everyone wants a piece of you. I want to really talk about the time right after Animal and what was going through your mind even choosing scripts, because you were getting offered nearly everything. So
Yeah.
what goes on then?
So, the film that I'm doing with Rajkummar, this I had signed before Animal. Even the film with Vicky. That was done before, 2 years before I signed Animal. So luckily those two were sorted for me. They had actually liked my work in Bulbul and Kala, and they, thought that I would be good for the film thanks to those two films. And even Animal I got because of Bulbul, because Sandeep sir really liked my work in Bulbul. But I was not expecting this sort of a response from Animal.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I'm there in the film, but okay, it'll come and go. Because I remember going for the screening and nobody really bothered.
Really?
I was there, I was nervous. My dad was watching the interview and he's like, why were you doing this? I was doing this a lot. He was like, were you very nervous? I said, I was very nervous. But cut to the success party, everything was different.
That's when everything
Yes,
switched.
and that's when I was like, okay, this film has done something for me. And I was actually shooting in Bhopal with Shahzai Iqbal, and that's when all of this was happening. I was getting a lot of calls, interviews, this and that, and I was like, is this really happening? Because I've waited for this to happen for a really, really long time, and I thought this will happen with another film, not Animal, because Animal was not my. I mean, it is. I'm there, but essentially, it's Ranbir Kapoor's story.
Yeah. I know you said that after Laila Majnu, you thought
After Laila
life would
Majnu,
change
I thought
so
life
much.
would change because
It's really cute how you said you thought you'd never be able to go buy vegetables.
vegetables. The next day,
wanna
I was
know-
standing there. Dhania kitne ka hai?
But when's the last time you went to buy vegetables now?
Now pre-Animal. Post-Animal, no.
Honestly, like, can one do stuff? What
I
happens?
mean, you
What's a
can.
day
You
in-
have to put the mask on, and then nobody can recognize you. But then it's interesting also because this is the day that, as an actor, you always want people
absolutely.
to recognize you for your work, and you want the fame, you want everything. But I'm a person who loves the freedom as well.
Yeah.
I love going for long walks. I love chilling with my friends without getting bothered about other things. But now that this has happened, sometimes I feel like, this is not the same. I'm not free anymore.
Yeah.
That
you
sense
are
of freedom has kind of gone away. But that is the only thing that I'm still trying to cope with, because I love my alone time, and I used to spend a lot of time just walking on Kata Road, eating pani puri. Now I can't do all of that. Now I have to be very careful. So that is one part that I miss a lot. Other than that, everything is very, very good.
Is that also why you take off to the mountains
Yes.
every opportunity you get?
Yes, to the mountains or anywhere away from the, lights and I mean, it's just. I think every actor, not just every actor, every human being, they need that space away from, At least I do.
How does it help you preserve the actor in you?
I think it's very important.
Yeah?
If I don't touch base with myself, how will I, perform otherwise? Because see, when you're doing too many things, like right now, last year I did 4 films. You need that break to, disconnect from the films and then to recharge yourself and be like, okay, now I'm ready to work. Because what happens is when you're working continuously back to back, you're also exhausted physically, mentally. Every day you're interacting with hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
You
And
don't
for an introvert, that's
for
draining,
an intro,
I can
it's very
imagine.
yeah, it is. So you don't have any time to yourself. Even when you go home, there's so much going on in your head. Okay, tomorrow I have to do this. Tomorrow I have to contact this person, that person. I have to give this interview. So you need those 5 days or 6 days to yourself where you don't have to interact with anyone. Where you just do what you want to do. You just want to lie down and just read a book or maybe just do nothing. I think that is something that really, really helps me, calm down a bit. And I think to be a good actor, you need to be in a good space mentally. Otherwise, you can't take this energy, nervous energy on set.
Yeah.
You have to be centered. You have to be in control of your emotions. Even if you're in the scene, even if you're, angry or you're erratic, but inside as a person you have to be centered. Otherwise it can really as a human being it can really destroy you, I feel. So, you need your alone time. Even like when I shoot every day, when I go back home I just put my phone down and I just listen to music and I'm like, okay, this is my time alone. I need to really, really forget what I've done the whole day and just go home. Yeah. My team finds it very difficult to connect with me at times. They like, Triptii, respond, message, like tomorrow.
Because that is the truth. When with all the love, of course, comes
Yeah.
the scrutiny. Everything you do sort of comes under the microscope. I was seeing Mere Mehboob is trending number 1 on YouTube.
Yeah.
But then there's a hook step that has gotten some amount of flack.
Yeah.
I saw your fans also get really protective of you.
That is, they do.
How are you processing that? Like, did you feel like when you were shooting that there could be something? What was that like?
Not really, because, I think as an actor, I'm trying to do different things. I'm trying to, and which I think every actor goes through, right? You act. First, I thought, okay, acting ke liye, you just need to know acting and you're sorted. But when things got real, I realized, okay, no, you have to, when you get offered shows, you should know how to walk properly. When you get offered a dance number, you should know how to dance well. All of these things I didn't know earlier. And because I never thought I would become an actor. And when things got real, I said, okay, I have to try everything. I may not be good at, maybe one can't be good at everything. I may not be good at this thing. But take care. What's wrong in trying? You have to give it your best. You're here now. You have to do it. You've not come this far to only come this far. So you give it a try. And that time I didn't realize, because for me it's, first dance number. I've not really done a dance number before. And I didn't think that it would get the kind of response it's getting. But I mean, it's happened to everybody. There are things that people like, there are things that people don't like. But that doesn't mean you stop experimenting or you stop doing what you want to do because you feel it will be perceived in a, whatever manner. You can't stop yourself. You have to, look straight and just keep doing what you love. Yeah. And because if you start thinking about what people are going to say and how people are going to perceive this, then I think you won't be honest to whatever you're doing. So that, yeah.
You've also said that I don't want to ever act from a place of desperation. Acting is a part of my life.
It's not my life.
Whole life.
It's not.
But when you wait this long to get here, do you ever get desperate to want to do everything, like to not say no to anything?
Not really. No, because when I did Bulbul, there was I didn't do anything for a year. It's not like I was not getting things offered, because whoever had seen Bulbul editing phase me, they were like, let's cast her. But I was like, no, I'm gonna wait till Bulbul is out, because And everybody around me was like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Just start doing things slowly. Maybe you'll get something better. I said, no, I want the film to release and see where I am at after the release of the film, because I've waited so long. Why not another year? And I waited, and Bulbul did what it did for me. I think I'm here only because of that film, because of Kala, because of Laila Majnu.
And
Laila
the
Majnu,
re-release
oh
of
my
that
God.
film.
It's just unreal. But then that is when I decided that I'll do something only if I want to do it. Otherwise, there's no point, because then you won't be honest with the script, or you won't be honest to the characters, and you'll be wasting your time, that person's time. And you spend good 50, 60 days on a set. That's like going on set every day and not liking what you're doing. It can really
Not be fun.
not be fun. And
Yeah.
then I don't want to ever get to a point where I'm like, I don't like acting. I want to go every day on set and enjoy the process and be like, wow, today we've done something. So that is why, I feel like I'm looking for different roles, because drama is again one thing that I really enjoy doing, and I've done with Bulbul and Kala. Then comedy happened, and every day on set I was like, I don't know acting. I'm back to square one. There's nothing. People, because I would see a Vicky Kaushal or a Rajkummar Rao killing it like this. They would read the lines and they would make it into something so beautiful that you would be like, how are these guys doing it? And because with the films like Bulbul and Kala, there's 2 months of prep. You're sitting with the character, with the story every day for 8 hours. So by the time you're on set, you know what you have to do. You know where to look, you know how to talk, you know your body language. But there are films where you have to be on set and improvise. And that's another exercise they give you in acting classes, which is something I was on set and I was like, okay, this is from that exercise, but how do I, execute it now? I'm stuck. Because comedy is mostly about,
Reacting.
acting is about reacting, but comedy mein toh it's even more, because you have to be true to the moment. You have to try not to be funny and still be funny. And so many things. Like, it's just, you have to be like awake all the time.
Yeah.
With drama, you can take your time. You can be like, I'm in my zone. Don't disturb me. But with comedy, you have to be at it.
So what is it like going from this arty, small budget and going straight onto big budget, dancing, big mega set, A-list Bollywood hero? It must feel like whiplash to your body, no?
Yeah, it does. And it's more I find it more difficult.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I've now, found my peace there also. Because earlier, initially, I think I was, for 3 days, with Vicky, I was so nervous. We had we shot the song first. 3 days, I was like, just like this the whole time.
You're kidding, no?
No, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. I didn't even interact with Vicky properly because I was just so nervous, just looking at him, and he was performing so well, and I was like, shit, I'm back to square one. Shit, I'm back to square one. How do I do this? But then it took me good 5-10 days to get used to the crew,
The scale of
the scale of
everything.
the film, the director, everybody. And they were very nice, very sweet, very welcoming. But I was just so reserved that it took me a while to, understand the world of that film. And of course, with Vicky Vidya, it was again full-on comedy. And when you're acting with, Rajkummar Rao,
Yeah.
Archana Puran Singh, such brilliant actors, then you're like, wow, man, how are they doing it? We would perform and there would be people in the audience, like background artists, they would just laugh. And I'm like, wow, this is working for them, maybe this will work. But it was just very interesting to see how they perform and how they, talk about the scene. Every break, we would sit in the room and read our scenes, all of us. Reading was different, but then when they would perform, it would be into 100. That's how well. And Rajkummar, to matlab, he can finish 2 pages of monologue in one go like this without messing up the lines. And I was just like, there's so much to learn every day in every film. And now the kind of films that I'm doing, which will come the next year. That's again a very different space. So as an actor, I'm very happy that I'm getting to do different roles, getting to learn every day on set. Otherwise, it can become very boring. And I don't ever want to fall out of love with acting.
acting,
Yeah, because that is my one fear. So that is why I think it's very important that you're doing different things, so that I think you have to be scared when you're going on set. I don't know what I have to do today.
Yeah. And the number of times you've said I was nervous, you can be rest assured you're doing very, very well on set. But I'm just looking at your eyes while you're talking, and it reminds me about apparently there was a time when someone told you that you can't act because your eyes can't emote.
Yeah.
It's safe to say that your eyes themselves have a fan base of their own. But makes me curious, how do you decide whose advice you want to take seriously and whose you don't? Because I know that fame brings with it a bunch of well-wishers.
Yeah.
A lot of well-wishers.
A lot of well-wishers.
So how do you balance that out?
Okay. So there's one thumb rule that I always follow. Every time I get offered something, or I'm at a narration, or I'm meeting a person, I feel there is a gut feeling that your body is always giving you signs, I feel.
Yeah.
It tells you whether this is right for you or this is wrong for you. If you enjoyed the narration, you just go for it. Like Bulbul's narration, everybody said, don't do it. OTT hai, don't do it. I said, I have to do it. This is something that I will do no matter what. Even if I don't get paid, I'll do it. That's what I said, and I went for it and see what it did for me. From that day on, I said, okay, I have to follow my gut. Whoever is saying anything, they're my well-wishers, of course. They've much more experience, they've seen life. But whatever they say is out of how their experiences have been, right? In the industry or otherwise. But my experiences are different. What I feel, what I want to do is something very different from others, right? So I have to follow my heart. I have to follow my gut feeling.
And
so
for that you have to stay centered.
For that you have to stay centered. For that you have to spend time with yourself and ask yourself the right questions. So I think, and I think this not acting out of desperation has always worked in my favor. Because, I know that tomorrow if things don't go right, it's okay. I'll still have a life. I'll still have things that I can go back to, or still have people in my life I can, spend my life with. So there's no loss in that sense. Of course, I love acting. I really, really would want to act till I'm 100 years old. But if it comes to, there's no fear attached anymore. I'm trying to reduce it as much as possible. Of course, there are times you get scared. There are times when stuff like this comes out, like whatever happened with Mere Mehboob, you're like, okay, didn't go, as planned. But it's okay. It happens to everybody. We are human beings. We're, ups and downs are a part of our life. And it's okay. If there are no downs, there will never be an upside to anything. So, these are very, very important times.
It is. Also, we know what the role in Animal and how it catapulted you to success.
Yeah.
But we also know that when people discovered you through Animal, there was also a solid base of acting work for them to sample along with that. Where is the sweet spot between glamour and performance, and how do you make sure to not topple those scales?
I think, I'm more attached to films like Bulbul and Kala. I've said this a lot of times, and I think it's only, even if I'm doing a glamorous role, you have to make sure that you don't kill the actor inside of you. You're always being honest and truthful to what a person can be glamorous, a person can be negative, a person can be evil. But when you're playing the part, you have to just be honest. And I think honesty is something that has worked for me till today. And that is something that I would want to hold on to. Because I think once you lose that, then everything I feel falls apart. And I've said this in a lot of interviews, this advice that I got from my acting coach, that just don't judge anybody, don't judge any part. Just be honest, just be honest. Honesty will take you a long way. So I think even if you're doing glamorous roles or roles where you sometimes feel ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं लगेगा, वहाँ सबसे ज़्यादा मेहनत लगता है. Because the day you start feeling ना, अरे यार ठीक है ये तो हो जाएगा, that is the day you need to be scared. Okay, no, नहीं हो जाएगा. You have to, understand what that person is going through, what's the journey of that person, why is the person reacting the way that person is reacting. And there are times you don't get time to do that. because you're on set and everything's like fat, 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 fat. But that's on you to do the homework. Because before, when you're, reaching the set, you know the basic things that you're going to be doing. You know the scene, right?
Yeah.
So you have to understand that, or there you might not get time. There you might have to improvise. But the internal world, you only have to build for whatever character. And sometimes it might not land, but that's okay. At least you tried.
But do you
Because
know?
there are times I act and I'm like, what did I do? I was so blank, and I didn't. As an actor, when you've delivered a good scene, or when you've just delivered your lines, or when you've, not really done a good job. And there are good days, there are bad days for everybody, I feel, because it's not just about you. There are so many things that happen on a set, right? Every day there's a different situation.
Yeah.
You can be in a very different mindset. There could be like 100
Life
things
happening.
going on in your life, and you are, maybe something really sad has happened in your, in La La Land, in your scene. So anything can happen, and there are good days and bad days. But I think just having that information and that knowledge that, okay, theek hai, I just have to be honest, just do it. Whatever it is that you're doing, just do it with honesty. It might not land, but it won't be bad.
Yeah.
That much guarantee I can give.
But you also talked about maybe wanting to do stuff internationally because you like
really
how
want to.
you do.
Yeah.
Is there a blueprint, like would you say Priyanka Chopra, or is the lure of Bollywood just too much right now for you to
No,
be?
I would love to do something out there, and I love how they work, man. I watch the shows and I'm like, how is this happening? Because I think their silences are given a lot of preference. I've noticed that in performances, they perform in silence. And that's when you can feel what the other person is feeling, because life is like that. When I'm having a chat with you, you're not going to be constantly like that. There will be moments where you'll go internal and you'll think about something. And I think there is space to do that. They're given space to do that. So that is something that I feel is very, very beautiful. It's going to be beautiful to explore. So that's what.
So is this you manifesting?
I am. I've manifested so many things in life. So this is something that, yes, I am manifesting currently, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Well, Triptii, in films at least, we've seen you be the Laila in Laila Majnu. We've also seen you be the girl who's licked the boot in Animal.
Yes.
Your Insta bio says love is the way.
Yes.
What's Triptii like when she's in love?
When she's in love, it's normal only.
What is normal?
I mean, I feel I am a very, very spiritual person. Like, I believe in nature, and nature is my first love, and my God, and everything for me. That is why that's the bio. Love is the way. I feel with love you can change anything and everything. I don't think there's ever come a point in my life where I have reacted I've screamed at anyone, or I have been rude to anyone, because if I do that, I know I feel bad and I can't sleep at night.
Wow.
And something very beautiful, I think I was watching some interview, and the person said, anger kills you first, then the other person. If you're angry, human beings, yes, you will be angry. It's an emotion, but just remember that it will kill you first, then the other person. It'll stay longer with you, not the other person, because you've let it out of your system. You feel, but it's still there. It's, it's any negative emotion, whether it's anger or, sometimes you go into that cycle where you're just thinking negative. It'll just not do anything good to you. So I feel, and that person said in that interview that with love you can change anything. If a person right in front of you is angry at you, talk to them with love. It'll change that person also, not just you. So I think that is something that has stayed with me, and I've tried it a couple of times. It's always worked.
You've also learned the art of deflecting a question very well.
Yes.
Well done. But really, I just want to end by asking you, and I know that you touched upon it earlier as well. Does success make you fearful, or does it give you wings to fly?
It does both. At times you feel like, okay, this is, I'm there now, and I'm going to give it my all, and you're all excited. and you go for it. But then there are times where you're like, okay, you have to be careful. You can't you can't be impulsive. You have to, sit back and think and then plan your life out. So I think it can be both. It can, scare you also, and it can give you wings to fly also. But I think for me, the definition of success is it's not just, limited to work. I feel if you're a successful person, if you're happy in life, if you have everything sorted, your work life, your personal life, your family, if everything is in place, that's when you're successful. And for every person, I think there's a different meaning of success. So you can't really, I find it really weird when people compare, acha, iska acha chal raha hai kaam, so that person is more successful. No, maybe for that person, this is success. Maybe for that person, that's not success. They're doing well in their life and career, but they're not happy. For them, that's not success. So you have to define what success is for you. And it keeps changing with time.
Yeah. Like I said at the start, it must be giddying to be you right now.
Yeah.
What are you enjoying most in this moment?
The fact that I'm getting to work with people that I've always wanted to work with. I had a long list of directors that I wanted to work with when I moved to Bombay. When I started taking acting seriously. When I was painting the walls, putting wallpapers. And I was like, who are the directors that I want to work with? Let me make a list now that I'm here. And I made a long list of directors.
Like a physical list?
Yeah, and that time I think I had gone for some audition, very important audition, and I had failed. So I was like, okay. And I was very demotivated. And I was like, listen, you've not come this far to come this far. I'm going to, if at all I have to leave the city, I'm not just going to leave it like this. I'll become something and it'll be out of choice. That is one thing that I told myself, and I made a list of directors and see manifestations. Today I'm working with most of those directors. So I think that is something that I'm very, very grateful for.
Have you taken a moment to just pause and take it all in and just pat yourself on the back, or is that not your style?
That I haven't done.
You haven't done that?
No. But that I haven't done. I won't lie. Yeah, it's been very hectic the last year. I did take some time off, but that time I was just trying to relax and just, find peace in other things rather than acting.
May you always remain in focus, but I also hope that you take the time off to just savor it, because you've worked really hard to get here.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
For being my first interview on the Hollywood
Lovely
Reporter.
chatting with you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Triptii Dimri and you're watching me on the Hollywood Reporter India. Do subscribe to the channel.